Is release day over at Catherine Pooler, and I'm super excited to have the cotton candy ink. I got the refill, and I did pick up the 6x6 blue ribbon pattern paper. I also picked up the Daisy Duke stencil. So these are the products that I picked up, and I'm going to create a layout using just the 6x6 paper pad. I am going to bring some dies in from my stash, but I do want to use the ink in the background, and I might pull in some past Catherine Pooler product as well. I do have some sequins as well that I will probably use on the layout, but I'm going to show you that you can create a layout using 6x6 paper pads. I do want to add some color to the background. I might do a little stenciling, and we will go from there. I do have some photos from the fair that I will use, and it'll be light embellishments, more focus on the pattern paper and the ink. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I pulled in some triangle dies from my stash. I have my photos printed out, and then here are the pattern papers in this paper pad. And what I like about this paper from Catherine Pooler is that she gives you the colors of inks that match the collection. So this one is called Blue Ribbon, and I think you get three of each design, which is really nice. So I'm just going to quickly go through the patterns and show you. So these are all of the papers in the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm going to start to run the triangle dies through my die cutting machine. Just going to do a couple of them here on camera, and then it will fast forward and I will have all of the triangles cut out, and I will start to lay them out how I want them on the layout. Okay, so I have the triangles all cut out, and I kind of place them like going across the page like this. I'm going to get my photos cut up and matted on some of the pattern paper, and then I'm going to do some color behind this here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the ink pad or the refill to do my inking. We'll see, but I will record it so you guys can see. And I did find this Sequin Mix Milwaukee, and it's got some of the pink and the blue in there, so I might use some of this as well around the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, and then we'll start getting some color to the background. Okay, so I'm just going to put some marks on the layout just so I know where these little banners are going to go, and I'm going to start to add a color to my background just using a really simple technique. I'm just going to do splatters and then some packaging. So I just took the cotton candy ink and added some to my clear acrylic block, and then added some water, mixed it up with a paintbrush, and then splattered some onto the background. Then I go in with that clear packaging, and I just put it on my hand like a glove, pick some of the color up, and then just tap it all over the white cardstock. I'm also going to take some of the refill that you'll see there from the cotton candy, add some of that to the ink block, add water, and then do the same technique over and over again. And I'll just keep on doing this over and over again until I get all of the color that I want on the background. I go in and do splatters, and then I do go in with some water and splatter, like sprinkle water on there as well, and then try to lift some of that up with a paper towel. And then once all of this dries, I'm going to go in with the Daisy Duke stencil, the cotton candy ink, and then just use a blending brush to add a little bit of that stencil to the background, just to add a little bit of interest to that background. And you can see it, like, especially when you see it in person, or you see it close up, it looks really, really pretty. And you can see the little detail there, and you'll be able to see it in the close-up photos. The color gets a little washed out in the photos just with the editing and the bright lights. So it's kind of hard to see the color, but in person you can really, really see it. It's such a pretty pink. It's like, I can't even describe it. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pink. I absolutely love it. So once I'm done with the ink, I'm going to go in with some glacier paste from Nuvo. I think that's what it's called. It's really, really pretty. So I'm just going to take my favorite little spatula here from Nuvo and add that through the stencil. My favorite brush to add any kind of media through a stencil. It's just so easy to apply. So I'm just going to go through and get that all over the background. Okay, so I've added some splattering to the background, and I also went in with the stencil, the Daisy Duke stencil? Yeah, Daisy Duke stencil. And blending brush, and did a little bit in the background. Now most of this is going to get covered up because I'll put the banners here. So it'll just have like pieces peeking out. And then I did go in with this Nuvo Glacier paste from my stash and added some of that just to add some sparkle to the background. You can kind of see it there, just to give it a little bit more interest and some texture to the background. I was thinking about adding some white splatter, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, like that. So then once this is all dry, I'm going to go in and go ahead and add the triangles, get my photos, and then we will go from there. Okay, so everything is dry, and I'm going to lay out the triangles, and I'm going to layer them up. So I have the largest triangle, and I'm going to get that stuck down, and then I'll go in with the next size and layer that up, and then go with the smallest one and layer that up. And then at the end of the layout, once I'm done, I had some leftover triangles, so I will end up filling up some more of that, the empty spaces at the bottom, and you'll see that at the end when I do that. I'm just getting these stuck down, and then for the smallest triangles, I am popping them up with foam adhesive. And then for the other triangles, I did just put adhesive along the top. That way I could kind of lift up the bottoms of those triangles. I have my photos here, going to mat them on some of the pattern paper, and then get them stuck down to the layout. I do 2 of them in this cotton candy and rock and red stripe, and then the other one, I believe I do the white with the multicolor dot. So I'm just going to get those trimmed up, and then I will get them placed down to the layout. For my background, I'm using a white base, and I did pull in a piece of pink cardstock from my stash. I believe it's from Hip Kit Club, and it was a pretty close match to the cotton candy. It's a little bit darker, but I thought it worked well, so I did want to mat it onto a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, so I just pulled that in so I can mat it. I did want to add some florals, so I have this beautiful stamp set from Catherine Pooler, and I'll leave it linked down below, so I could have some florals on my layout as well. And then I pulled in this little tray that I have on my desk so I could pull in some more embellishments from my stash. Okay, so I went through my stash. I have my photos matted on some pattern papers from the Catherine Pooler 6x6, and then I went through my stash of Scrap and Happy Studio epoxy flare, and then I have some from Chadney, but I did have a fair set that is super cute that I might use, and then I pulled in some other flares. I like this one here from Colorcast. It says Fun Times, and I did pull in a few other pieces from Colorcast, Happy Moments, and then I think this is like a summer set. So I'm going to see if I can add in some of these, and I'm going to punch out some hearts as well from the pattern papers, and then that will probably finish it up. I'll add in some sequins around the layout. So I'm going to embellish lightly on this, and then I will be back with the finished layout. Okay, so I'm going to start to lay out the embellishments. I'm going to start with this Colorcast piece right here at the bottom. And then this one here that says Fun Times, it has some like openings on it with the letter fun, or yeah, the letters in the word fun. So I'm going to add some pattern paper behind it. And I'm just using that stripe paper from the paper pack. And then I also wanted to cut out some pink hearts. So I just took the ink to paper and did the ink to paper technique, and then punched out some cotton candy tiny pink hearts that I'll add to the layout as well. I have these really cute wood veneers that I wanted to add to the layout as well. So I have 3 of them on the page, and then these florals that I stamped out in cotton candy, and then the leaves I stamped out in lime Ricky. I created a little banner at the top, and I wanted some of these little icons from this paper pad, or this paper. So I'm just going to fussy cut these little pieces out, and I'll add them to the layout as well. So I did some cotton candy, the popcorn, and the snow cone. They're super cute. I wish they were a little bit larger, so we could have used them for like ephemera pieces, but I like the way that they turned out. It would have been super cute to have like a little ephemera pack to go along with this paper set, but I don't mind the fussy cutting. So I do add some Scrap and Happy Studio epoxy flare and then these sequins, and then that pretty much finishes it up. Super cute. Love the way that it turned out. And love that I was able to use some of my stash on this layout as well to go along with these new Catherine Pooler products. I have some still shots for you guys at the end, and I will leave everything listed down below. Don't forget to head on over to Catherine Pooler's site and pick up this new cotton candy ink and check out the new release. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.